Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host Natasha Casino, and today we are kicking off the Dance Muse interview series with world-renowned ballet dancer Miko Fogarty. Miko, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course, and it's really weird doing social distance style, but we're here.
I know, we're making it work, so.
For sure.
Yeah.
I recently watched your TED Talk where you talk about your journey of rediscovery, and I thought it was super inspirational, and you talk about just a whole bunch of really important stuff.
Right.
You mentioned when you were 4 years old is when you started ballet.
Yeah.
And by the time you were 11, ballet was your priority.
Yeah.
But able to keep it that way, you had to make some really tough decisions.
Right.
And one of those decisions was homeschooling.
Right.
Do you think you can give us some insight as to what that lifestyle was like and how common it is today for aspiring dancers?
Sure. Yeah, so as you said, when I was 11 years old, which was right after 6th grade, I started online school. So it was all based from the computer, kind of like what a lot of people are doing now during the pandemic. Not as much Zoom, but just online courses. And so everything was just moved online, but it was still accredited and through like a California program, so that was good. But yeah, that was so that I could accommodate like the training and the traveling schedule that I had when I was doing ballet, because I started to miss out a lot on school when I was still going to public school in 6th grade. You know, like when I had to spend a week in New York for like YGP, or like go to Florida, or just train in different places, I had to miss a lot of school. So we just decided as a family and with my ballet teacher that it would probably be better for me if I started online school. And like, it was very tough at the beginning because I really did love school, and I loved my teachers, and I loved my friends, and it was kind of a decision that we made all of a sudden right during the summer. So I didn't have a proper like goodbye to my public school, but I got used to it pretty quick. And like you mentioned as well, a lot of pre-professional ballet dancers these days, I think, are starting to homeschool just like I was. And it is kind of like a sacrifice that you make towards ballet, but I think if you're really, really focused and you really want to become a professional, it'll be good. It'll be good, I think.
I got to see a little bit of your childhood in the documentary First Position.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed at the amount of dedication you had at such a young age. And I was wondering, is this the type of requirement, is this the type of commitment that's required of people who want to go into professional dancing?
I think it depends on a lot of different things in your life. I sometimes feel like maybe I might have been pushed a little too hard when I was younger, but you never know what will happen in your future. What I will say is I think it really depends on the passion that the student has. It can't be from the parents, it can't be from the teachers, even though support is always necessary, especially in the US, to become a ballet dancer. But it really does have to come from the student, and if they really want to pursue it, and if they really want to have the extra privates and everything like that, I think it will definitely help. But I don't think it's necessary to have to do online school or have so many private lessons. There's so many kids that I know that did amazing in ballet, and they they only really did their regular ballet classes. And I think it really depends, and also it depends on how much like natural talent you have as well.
So even though you were in this different space mentally, you fought through it, and at 17 you got a contract to a ballet company in London. But shortly after, you realized that ballet would not be your career.
Yeah.
What was the exact moment that you realized that?
I think it was not an exact moment that I realized that ballet wasn't what I wanted to pursue. It just kind of started to happen when I started feeling tired of not loving my body, and just started to feel tired with, I guess I didn't feel at home on stage either. Like it would have been worth it if I went on stage after all of that hardship, and I just like loved being on stage and performing, and loved like the audience clapping and all of that, but I didn't feel that sense when I was on stage, so it was almost not worth it for me to have to go through all of that hardship backstage and behind the stage, and then go on stage and just not feel at home either. So when I started to realize that, I was like, maybe ballet is not like the right career for me, even though I've worked so hard for it for so long. Like, I don't want to keep pursuing something I'm not passionate about. And so, but I didn't just like switch one day and decide to do something else the next day. It was a really big decision for me. So I did spend a couple months really thinking about it, and every day in class I would be like, are you sure you want to leave this behind? Like, you've worked so hard up till this moment. And every day I'd feel like, yeah, I do want to pursue something else. So it did take time for me to decide. And honestly, from the first moment that I started doubting my career in ballet, it took probably like a whole year until I started college. So it was not like a split-second decision for me. It just kind of took time for me to make that decision and realize it was the right decision for me. So yeah, I took time with that decision.
You know, that's really courageous, and that's really brave of you. How did your family react when you told them that, you know, ballet would not end up being your career?
It was probably like I think for me, leaving ballet, like the decision to leave ballet was definitely not the hardest part about that process, but opening up to everybody around me was definitely the hardest part. So it was good because I did keep an open discussion with my parents about my thoughts and everything. And, you know, when I first started discussing like leaving ballet, they were like, we just discussed it a lot while we were like on walks and everything. And I have to say, my parents were just so supportive. They knew I was going through like a hard time. And of course they had supported me so much in ballet. So I think all of us went through kind of a grieving time with my ballet career. But I just have to say my parents were so amazing and so supportive in my transition. But it was super, super hard for me to open up, not only to my family. It was almost the easiest to open up to my family and my really close friends, but opening up to anybody in the ballet world for like the first 2 years after I made that decision was really challenging for me. I'm okay with it now, but it's been like 4 or 5 years since I've made that decision. But at first it was really, really difficult because I felt I had this identity of me being a ballet dancer for my whole life, basically. So doing something else was something I was not comfortable opening up initially. But I'm thankful like about a year and a half after I started college, I started having like little interviews again, starting to open up about my life again. So that was nice. And once I did start opening up to people in ballet, there were so many people that had mentioned to me that they had gone through something very similar, or they were just very supportive of my decision. So that was really nice. Yeah.
Snaps to your parents, because that is so amazing that they've literally supported you this whole way.
Yeah.
And especially when making such a really big decision like that.
Right.
And, you know, at that point, they're on that journey with you as well.
100%.
So when you started over, they started over as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can just imagine that fear of the unknown that you were having, and just, you know, it can be daunting, especially
100%.
for young people with big dreams like yourself, who dedicated so much time and so much effort into one path.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that?
Yeah.
How did you deal with starting over?
Yeah, it was definitely, yeah, it was just like starting over, but it was more like starting a new chapter for me. I still had all the lessons I'd learned from ballet, and I knew I was going to apply them to whatever I did next. But I think it gave me even more motivation to study hard and get good grades in college and all of that, because I had, you know, I'd left so much behind that I didn't want to like fail or anything like that in my next whatever I was pursuing. So I really wanted to do well in college, and it was that like extra boost knowing that I left a lot behind. But I also took a lot with me from ballet, you know, just like the discipline that it takes to be so persistent and and to work hard every day in ballet. I brought that with me to school, and it really did help a lot. And I think that's why ballerinas and ballet dancers in general end up doing so many amazing things after their ballet careers, just because they have the mindset to, you know, be able to do anything. So I was lucky in that. And yeah, but it was definitely a challenge starting over. You know, I had literally no idea what college was like, because I did zero preparation really from high school to prepare for college. And I didn't even know what I was supposed to bring on the first day of college. Like, am I supposed to bring like a laptop or like a notebook? But I watched so many like what's in my backpack videos on YouTube, and first day at college, day in the life kind of thing on YouTube. So that helped me a lot. And I went to like a tiny little community college to start out with. So I was very lucky to do that. I'm so glad I didn't start off somewhere like UC Berkeley, because it would have been way too overwhelming for me, starting with like having no knowledge about college. So I kind of inched my way up to UC Berkeley.
Watching those YouTube videos, I really don't blame you. You've been homeschooled for really a majority of your life.
Right, yeah.
And I can't even think about how that first day was like for you, transitioning to not even like middle school or to high school, but to the college level.
Yeah.
What was your first day like?
It's funny because the night before, so it was like college started on a Monday morning, right? But Sunday night, I was actually having my last performance ever in Indonesia. And so I had to take like a red-eye flight to San Francisco, but then I couldn't like get to school right on time on Monday, so I actually had to miss my first day of college. But I started on Tuesday. But I had contacted my professors and everything, and they were fine with that. But I think one of my first couple classes was like calculus and chemistry, and those are not like easy courses.
Definitely not.
So I was definitely super nervous, you know, just with my online background, my online training. I was not confident with my skills, so I was super nervous. But just my professors at my community college were amazing, and they, you know, started off slow, and it did get harder throughout the semester, but I was able to catch on super quick. And by the end of that first week of college, I was pretty sure I was gonna have like no regrets going forward. And I really like loved college, like from the very first day till the very last day. Yeah, I loved college.
And were you happy to finally get back to in-person classes?
Oh yeah, oh my God. I loved having in-person classes. I really realized why I missed school when I left in 6th grade. I realized I loved my professors, and my professors again were like amazing at Feather River College. Shout out Golden Eagles. My professors were amazing, and I really loved them. And you know, we had our like 8 a.m. calculus class, but
that's brutal.
But like Dr. Bagley, Dr. B, he started off with like an inspirational quote every morning, and he pumped us all up ready to like do some calculus, and he was so generous. He was amazing, and I just like it was so different from online school, and I loved having in-person classes.
Would you say you thrive more in an in-person setting?
For sure. I think I definitely thrived. I think I did fine in online classes too. It's just that I learned a lot more. I think in person I had that urge to kind of try to satisfy the professor, and I had friends to work with on certain assignments and to work through problems with. So I really love the in-person classroom vibe for sure.
Switching from ballet to science is pretty huge. Out of all the majors out there, why science?
It's hard to explain. I think, well, one of the courses I wanted to take here and that I actually ended up loving the most was anatomy and physiology, like human anatomy and human physiology, because I really did want to learn why, or like how the human body like moved and what makes us like human really. So I think I was just always interested in human health ever since I've been injured, and humans are just cool to study because it's us, you know. um, and so that's kind of why I was attracted to biology, and biology is just super cool. I loved all my courses, and it can be very intricate once you get down to like biochemistry and all of that, but it's super interesting, and there's always like new research coming out with interesting stuff about us, and so it's a cool field to be in for sure.
I think also kind of you liked it when you were younger because you mentioned something about getting a book.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was 12 at that American Ballet Theater summer intensive, we were given the book The Healthy Dancer, which was kind of showing us how different like our muscles and tendons and bones all like kind of work together to help us move or do certain movements with our bodies, and it taught us about different healing or like different ways to recover from injury and prevent injury. And I like loved that book. I read it all, and like I think on the plane ride home from New York, I think I read the whole thing, and I had like highlighted different things in it and everything. I just like loved that book, and I think that's kind of what like looking, and I shared it with one of my ballet teachers too, actually. I was like, look at this cool book about our bodies. Like I loved it, and so I think from a young age I always kind of was fascinated by the human body, and you know, whenever someone would get injured in ballet, which would happen sometimes, I wanted to be able to help them, but like I didn't know how to. But yeah, I think ever since a young age, I always thought like we were pretty cool as a human race, and how we were able to freaking do like ballet. Like that is so cool, and I just wanted to learn more about that.
And I think getting that book was kind of a foreshadowing to what you would end up doing.
Yeah, for sure. I think, especially when I got injured again, I looked back at that book, and when I was deciding what to do in my future, when I was kind of in the in-between period after ballet, I just kept coming back to, you know, health. And I talked to one of my aunts who's a nurse, and she said she really loved her work, and she had gone through different careers as well to get to where she was. And so I thought, like, why not pursue something that I've been interested in a while, and yeah, we'll see.
I wanted to switch gears a little bit and talk about social media.
Oh yeah.
So when you won gold in Moscow, your social media was popping.
Yeah.
Your YouTube got millions of views. Your Instagram got hundreds of thousands of followers, and people were like, so what's next for Miko? And you know, being a ballerina in the public eye, I can just imagine the amount of pressure.
Yeah.
How do you think social media impacts young people today?
Today, so yeah, back during Moscow, I had like so many eyes on me. I felt like what I would do next, and that made it even harder to, you know, transition out of ballet, having so many, not only like my close circles, but having so many people following me on social media in my ballet life was kind of difficult. That's why I also didn't share on social media for so long about like my change, and so that was definitely challenging. And now I try to incorporate more of my life from now into my social media, but I have to say, like, I don't take too many photos these days. Like, I'm just like, you know, studying in the library, not doing like crazy photo shoots, so I don't have like so many photos these days. I have like so many from ballet, so I still post some, and people love those because that's why they followed me on Instagram, at least, is like because of my ballet photos.
Yeah.
So I still post some of those, and I try to post like stuff from my current life on there, but it is a little challenging just because I don't take many photos anymore. But I try, and I think these days more people on social media reach out because they're going through their own struggles in ballet or even out of ballet, and so if I can help in any way, just from my own experiences, or give any type of advice that might be able to help them, I'm there for them. And so I hope to, you know, give support to any dancers that might be transitioning out of ballet or just struggling through something in ballet.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of comments about people calling you an inspiration and a role model. That's I think that's one of the greatest compliments that you can get.
It is.
That's to you.
Thank you. I don't feel it that much. Like, I hope to be like an inspiration and a role model, but I don't know. I'm just doing the best that I can and spreading as much like positivity as I can from social media. There's so much hate on social media these days. So many trolls, so much like cancel culture out there, and it's really saddening to see, because I feel like before, like 10 years ago, it was so positive. We were all just pumping each other up, and it's still like that sometimes now, but there's also so much hate these days. So I want to promote as much positivity and I want to support all my fellow dancers or whoever's like women in science as well, or women in both art and science. I have a couple friends that are doing amazing stuff. So I want to spread that message as well, to, you know, support each other, be positive, don't be mean online, even if you're behind a screen. It's you can still really hurt someone's feelings and really destroy someone's day, and even destroy a life. Like, people have definitely committed suicide because of cyberbullying. So I want to really spread positivity online for sure.
I think social media is a great platform, but I mean, there's also with everything, pros and cons.
Definitely.
But I think right now it's really important because there are a lot of discussions happening, especially about social injustices.
Yeah, for sure.
There was one comment I saw, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. What would you say to the people who say ballet has been a source of institutional bias due to socioeconomic requirements for many serious ballet students to train at a higher level?
I would say it is true. I think ballet has a lot of issues in like sexism and racism, and you have to almost be like, at least in the US, you have to be kind of well off to be able to support, or your parents have to really be supportive. I mean, point shoes are like $100 a pair, almost, and you sometimes, if you have strong feet, you need them almost like once a week. So that's like so much money.
Wow.
And tutus can cost up to $2,000. It's just a very expensive art form. In other countries, a lot of times, like, there's a lot of public funding towards ballet schools, so the ballet schools provide a lot of that support. But in the US, you know, your parents have to help out a lot, and it can be definitely super difficult. But especially if you're like Black or it's just, there's a lot of racism out there right now in ballet, and I hope that there will be more change. And I really like seeing the change that is happening right now due to the Black Lives Matter movement in ballet, you know, opening up, becoming more diverse in the dancers that they have in certain ballet companies, and the dancers that they promote through their company too, to become principals. I think there is change being made, but it's very slow. Like, ballet, it's behind in a lot of ways. But there is change being made, but it is very slow. So I hope to spread the word to, you know, create more diversity in ballet. And also, you know, the body types that they accept in ballet is very harsh, like very strict. You have to have certain body proportions and all of that. Well, I hope you don't have to have it, but right now it's kind of like that, especially at younger ballet competitions where they almost look at your body physique more than how you danced on stage. Which I hated, because I did not always have like the perfect proportions and all of that. And even just like how your feet look is something they look at a lot. So that's not great. And I hope there's more change and more diversity in ballet going forward, for sure.
So do you think that they would sometimes judge you more on how you look than your performance?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Wow.
They would say we're looking more for like potential than how you perform. So even if you did like an amazing performance and you did, you danced super well, but there's someone else that, might have like a better like ballet body, but they might have fallen or they might have not danced well. They might still like win or get certain scholarships just because they have like the potential to do well, just because they were born a different way. So that was the most frustrating for me in ballet, was you'd sometimes be judged more on how you were born, or like the physique that you were born with, more than like the work that you put into it. Like that was very frustrating at times for me, for sure. And I still think it's like that. And it might even be going more in that direction. I don't know. But that was definitely super, super frustrating for me.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't like it. I think even before, when you look at videos from like 80 years ago in ballet, like there were normal women dancing on stage at these major companies, that weren't like stick thin and that were dancing beautifully. But over time, it's almost become a trend for ballet dancers, to be like super skinny and have super arched feet. And it's kind of a shame to me, because there's so many talented dancers that can perform and act really well on stage, but they might not get like a contract just because they don't have like arched feet and whatever. It's not cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's just the way ballet has been going, and different directors at different companies are looking for certain body requirements, and I don't think it's cool, but I'm not exactly sure why it's happening. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about something you said a few years back, and I quote.
Okay.
A lot of people think there should be white dancers on the stage, or white dancers like the best doing it. Recently, it's been getting so much better, with Misty Copeland becoming principal of ABT, and Asian dancers from everywhere are becoming principals of their companies.
Yeah.
Being half Japanese and half European, I had to work really hard, and I've had to just realize how to work with it.
Yeah. So I agree with like that statement. I think, as I said, there's a lot of racism in ballet. There's almost, in all the companies, there's definitely more white dancers than any other race, except maybe Dance Theater of Harlem. But basically almost every like major ballet company in the US, there's definitely more white dancers. So that there's a bias there, and being like part like half Asian. I mean, I still had an advantage because I was half white, but still, I had a lot of. I think I was pretty. I think I don't want to complain, because I was pretty lucky, and I didn't have to deal with a lot of racism. At least I don't think I did. I don't know what happened behind the scenes with certain auditions and whatever, but I think I was pretty lucky. But I know so many amazing like Asian dancers and black dancers that may not get company contracts or may not get into the school of their choice just because of the color of their skin, and it's so sad to see, even though they might just be just as amazing as the white girl next to them, but just because she's like white and has like blonde hair and everything, she might get the position, and that's kind of sad to see. So I have to say, again, I was lucky in that regard, but I see still a lot of discrimination happening in ballet. But I hope there's more change coming.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward to 2020.
Sure.
Do you think that we've made progress with diversity and inclusion in the ballet world?
I have to say I haven't really been too much in the ballet world. Like in the last 4 years, I have been teaching and coaching here and there, but I haven't been too involved. But I think with the Black Lives Movement, just a lot of dancers of color have been speaking up and making sure that they're included and they're heard. And so I think that is very important. And I hope there's change being made. But I think over time it has been getting better, with different dancers of color rising up the company in different companies around the US and around the world. And so I think it has been getting better since, like, by 2020, but there's always more improvement to be made for sure.
Slowly but surely, right?
Slowly but surely, yeah, for sure.
So it's been several years now since you decided, you're changing career paths,
Right.
you're reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Where are you now on your journey of, reinvention?
Yeah, so it's been such an amazing journey. I feel like, again, like I've had my first chapter in ballet, and now I'm in my second chapter of, college and academics, and I am just, I'm so happy in the place that I am right now. I loved my 4 years in different colleges, and I just graduated actually from the University of California, Berkeley.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was, sadly, it was just like an online thing, but due to the pandemic, but I'm still very, very happy that I was able to graduate, and especially from this institution. It was definitely challenging searching courses here at UC Berkeley. Some of the STEM courses are not easy. And there's sometimes like 500 kids in your class that you're kind of competing against because you're like graded on a curve. So that's sometimes challenging, but I also made such amazing friends that I'm still really close to these days. And I learned a lot. And so right now I'm actually in the process of applying to different graduate programs and different health programs around the US. So we'll see what happens from here, but that's what I'm doing right now.
That's awesome. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, thank you.
So now that you've had some time away from the ballet world, where does dance currently fit in your lifestyle? And what perspective have you gained from that time away?
Yeah, so I do teach these days. Well, I haven't been teaching too much online just because I've been busy with like applications and that and stuff like that. But over the last 4 years, I have loved teaching ballet. So that's how I kind of keep ballet in my life these days, is teaching on the weekends whenever I can, and coaching certain dancers with their technique or their variations. I love doing that. I've also taught a lot of workshops. And I was supposed to actually be in New Zealand right now, like teaching over there, and I was so excited, but COVID, so that couldn't happen. But hopefully sometime soon. So that's how I fit ballet into my life. And yeah, as I said, like ballet will always be a part of my life. I'm always so proud of my past in ballet, and I'm always so proud of my colleagues that were in ballet and my friends in the ballet community. I still go watch performances at the San Francisco Ballet close by, and I have a couple friends in that company. So I love supporting the ballet community, and I hope that in the future, when I have more money, I hope to be able to donate to the arts and help out the arts as much as I possibly can. The arts is always struggling to find more money. Yeah. And I hope to be able to help out in any way that I can in the future. So yeah, just supporting the arts all the way.
Yeah. Go arts.
Yeah.
And ballet is it's always going to be part of your identity. It's always going to be who you are.
Definitely.
So besides teaching and all of that, what's your next move?
So yeah, I hope to get into like a graduate program or like a medical school or podiatry school or something like that in the next year, and see where it goes from there. I don't know where I'm going at all next year. So it's kind of up in the air right now, but for now I'm just researching. So I do brain tumor research at University of California, San Francisco in the city, and I've been doing that for about 2 years, and I hope to continue that for the next year. And that has been super cool. I love doing that.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, I love it. I love my team. I love the research we're doing. It's really exciting stuff. And there's some drugs that we test and see if they work and if they're toxic in any way, stuff like that. So that's been super exciting. There's some exciting stuff that's happening there. And yeah, just teaching here and there, and just right now I'm just focusing also on applications. So that's kind of what's taking up a lot of my time right now. But my future is still kind of up in the air, so we'll see. But I'll keep you guys all updated when anything happens.
Please do. Very busy bee.
Yeah.
Before we end, is there anything you would like to say to your supporters and to everybody watching this video?
Yeah, I would just say like thank you so much for all your support. I'm just so thankful for everyone who has been on this journey with me and has followed me ever since I was so young and has supported me every step of the way. And I hope to be able to support you in any way that I can as well. If you're having anything and going through anything in college or ballet or dance or anything, please feel free to reach out to me. Just DM me on Instagram, probably that's the best way, or email me. Yeah, but thank you. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support.
Steps. And I'd like to end off with one of your quotes that I really love. And I quote, "It's never too late to reinvent yourself if you are not happy with who you currently are." Just great.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I truly think that if you're struggling with the idea of like the career that you're in, or even if you're with a person that is not bringing you happiness and joy, and don't be afraid to like leave, I guess. Like a lot of us are just kind of stuck in our situations, and it's almost it can be so difficult to leave the situation that you're in, and sometimes you're not even able to, and in that case just do your best. But if you have the possibility and you're lucky enough to have an opportunity to go towards something else that you want to pursue and that you're passionate about, like go, like do it. Don't hold back just because you've been doing something for so long, or
Don't settle.
Exactly. So I just wanted to spread that message in my TED talk.
I love that message so much. And at first I was like, oh, easier said than done. But,
Oh, totally easier said than done, for sure.
it really is such an important thing, because we think, oh, we're stuck in one spot. But it's really never too late to reinvent yourself.
Definitely. I think life is way too short to, to be doing something you don't enjoy for how many decades, of your life. You don't want to waste your life doing something you don't enjoy. So if you have the possibility of, going towards something new, then go for it.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, Miko, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Thank you so much.
We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. You're such a trooper for being here with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for watching.
I really wish you the best with everything, your future endeavors. I know you're going to do just great.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
To keep up with Miko, you can follow her on all her social media accounts at Miko Fogarty on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm Natasha Casino. See you next time.